Okay, so today we're going to spend some time talking about the general idea of the purpose behind your writing. Why are you writing it? What's the purpose? And so the book is broken down into kind of four different primary academic purposes. And the first one is a summary. And when you're asked to write a summary, this is follows more or less your traditional book report. In a summary, the basic idea is you're going to shrink information into the essential parts. So that's pretty simple. You want to take a complicated idea and you want to summarize it. You want to bring it and shrink it into an essential aspect. This is frequently something that you're going to have to work on. You're going to take a chapter. Instructor is going to want you to summarize and to condense everything in, maybe 200 pages of reading in the case of some test questions, and summarize it all down into one manageable narrative. Okay, so the next type is analysis. Analysis is a little bit different. In analysis, you're going to take and you're going to separate complex materials or material and study each of the parts. And so if you're going to analyze something, you might take, for example, you might analyze the causes of World War II. You're going to look at all the different potential parts that led to the lead up of World War II. And then after looking at all those parts, you're going to talk about each individual one and discuss how they contributed and what the different factors were into deciding how the role of each aspect. All right. Now synthesis is the next one. Synthesis, instead of this one, you're sort of breaking down the parts, and then synthesis, you're putting the parts together. And so here, you're going to you're going to combine two or more items. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a new item or a new topic. And so synthesis requires a little bit more. An analysis is simply looking at something and breaking it down. A synthesis, you actually have to combine different items and come to some of your own conclusions. And then finally, evaluation. This is more like if you're in a situation where you have to write an opinion piece, you're going to judge the value of something. And when you're judging the value of something, this can't be strictly opinion. Opinion is not going to be enough. Your opinion matters only as much as you have factual research. And so this is where you're going to want to spend some time jumping into your primary and secondary sources and developing some really solid factual research to support your opinion or to support your judgment on the value of something. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is I want to spend some time reviewing the idea of audience. We talked about audience over the last couple of weeks, but now we need to do a quick review. When you're thinking about the purpose of your paper or the purpose of a paragraph, you need to consider audience. And so you need to think about who is this intended for? And then based on who it's intended for, as we know, that's going to shift voice and tone, and it's going to alter a bunch of aspects of your writing naturally. But the other thing that you need to sit and think and spend some time really considering are the four aspects discussed in the book. The first one that's discussed is demographics. And this is kind of demographics, for those of you who don't know, simple kind of information about the people. Age, what's the average age range of the audience members, maybe religion, or what are their religious beliefs, possibly gender. And depending on this writing situation, this is also going to influence your purpose and it's going to influence your tone. So this is sort of number one. Number two here, next thing we need to talk about is education level. If we are, let's say we want to talk about something simple like astronomy. If we're talking about astronomy and we're talking to a bunch of third graders, this is going to be different than if we're talking to PhDs and astrophysicists. So in this case, we're going to want to be pretty careful about what the education level is and how we respond, in what kind of content we discuss, what kind of detail, language, all of those things are going to be, pretty guided by a person's education level. And so, along with education, the next thing you need to think about is prior knowledge. I always think about prior knowledge. One of my friends is a really good car mechanic, and if he's talking about mechanics or the mechanical workings of a car, if he's talking to another mechanic, he's going to use a very different set of words, details, and language structure if he's talking to a mechanic versus if he is talking to someone with no mechanical knowledge. And so, what kind of prior knowledge does your audience members have? And based on that prior knowledge, how does that dictate what you want to say and what you want to think about? All right, next one. Expectations. What do people expect out of your writing? And so expectations, if you're writing, is there a tone expectation? Meaning, is it supposed to be funny? Is it supposed to be serious? You don't want to take something that's supposed to be really serious and make it funny. It may not come across all that successfully. Next thing is just, along with tone, is just sort of guidelines. Are you following the formatting guidelines? Are you following the file sharing guidelines? So formatting, cover pages, text layout, so forth. What are the expectations that have been established? If you're doing a presentation for a business or for a job, you might have some pretty detailed expectations based on your clients. And if you don't follow those expectations, regardless of how well organized or well structured your potential message happens to be, if the expectations aren't met, you may be doing yourself a pretty substantial disservice. So always think about demographics, education, prior knowledge, and expectations when talking about or thinking about your audience before writing. Audience is king. Okay, so after you've thought about audience, you've thought about your purpose, and now you need to start thinking about how you want to craft your actual essay. And so the topic sentence will generally be in academic writing, as we'll review in a few minutes, will generally be the first sentence in any body paragraph. And so let's go through and let's review some characteristics of good topic sentences. Okay, number one, and this is all in your book, so you can review in your book. This occurs on page 211 through 212. But I want to kind of walk you through some of the details here. A good topic sentence provides an accurate indication of what will follow in the rest of the paragraph. So if you take a look here, there's a weak example and a strong example. The weak example, people rarely give firefighters the credit they deserve for such a physically and emotionally demanding job. Okay, that's a good general topic. It's talking about firefighters in general. But as it turns out, this particular sentence or this particular paragraph is actually about one particular event. And that one particular event, during the October riots, Unit 3B went beyond the call of duty. And so we know that this entire paragraph is going to be about October, and it's going to be about Unit 3B, and then how they went beyond the call of duty. And so make sure, again, that an accurate indication of what will follow, and that accurate indication, it needs to be pretty specific. It can't just be general and generic. And so think about, am I being specific enough in terms of what my paragraph is actually going to discuss? Ask yourself that question as you write topic sentences. Okay, let's take a look here at the next one. The next one is going to be about good topic sentence contains both a both a topic and a controlling idea. Okay, so the topic is sort of the general what you're going to be talking about, and the controlling idea is your perspective or the angle that you're going to take. So let's take a look at the weak example. In this paper, I'm going to discuss the rising suicide rate among young professionals. Okay. The stronger example, the rising suicide rate. So this is going to be the topic. The topic is rising suicide rate among young professionals is a cause for immediate concern. Okay, so we know that this is a concern. And so when we're looking, this is the controlling idea right here, and this is going to be the topic. Now, you can see here that this structure is pretty clear in the stronger example. But let's go back and look at that weaker example. In this paper, I'm going to discuss the rising suicide rate among professionals. Okay, as you can see here, this has no controlling idea. We're down here, we know it's an immediate concern and something society should be paying pretty close attention to. And so make sure that you have both a topic and a controlling idea when you're writing topic sentences. All right, the next thing here is a good topic sentence is clear and easy to follow. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Taking a look at this one. A good topic sentence is clear and easy to follow. In general, writing an essay, thesis, or other academic or non-academic document is, whoa, okay, so we've got in this beginning part of this sentence, we have essays, thesis, academic, non-academic. It's getting a little crazy here. Is considerably easier and of much higher quality if you first construct an outline, of which there are many different types. Whew. So it's talking about different types. It's talking about quality, outlines, easier. This is not clear and easy to follow. Not at all. It's way too chopped up. So let's look at the stronger example. Most forms of writing can be improved by first creating an outline. And so here we want to create an outline, and this will improve writing. And so as you can see here, this is clear, it's concise, it's to the point, pretty easy to follow overall. Okay, let's take a look at the next example. This one is a good topic sentence does not include supporting details. You're going to want to save your supporting details for when you get into the actual supporting sentences. And so let's take a look. Salary should be capped in baseball for many reasons. Most importantly, so we don't allow the same team to win year after year. Okay, this right here is what we would call a supporting detail. This could be an entire sentence, maybe even with some statistics about, in terms of baseball, teams like the Yankees, who have more money than a lot of other teams. This is getting way too nuanced for a topic sentence. And so let's take a look at this next example. Introducing a salary cap would improve the game of baseball for many reasons. All right, we know then that the supporting details, the many reasons, are going to be our follow-up sentences that follow our topic sentence in this paragraph. And so, again, a good topic sentence does not include supporting details. All right, moving on here. Take a look at number 5, our last one. A good topic sentence engages the reader by using interesting vocabulary. Okay, interesting vocabulary is important. And let's take a look. The military deserves better equipment. Okay, that's a good topic sentence, but let's take a look here. The appalling lack of resources provided by the military is outrageous and requires our immediate attention. All right, so as you can see here, we have the word appalling, we have outrageous, we have requires, and immediate attention. That is a much stronger opening sentence, and the military deserves better equipment. Okay, the other thing I want to spend a few minutes talking about here is the difference between, so we're talking about topic sentences, and so topic sentences occur in body paragraphs. So we're looking at just kind of basic essay construction. And so if you have, let's say this is your paper here, and you have your introduction or your introductory paragraph, and then after your introductory paragraph is followed by body paragraphs. And so a topic sentence usually occurs at the beginning of a body paragraph. Now, for some of you, you may be confused between a thesis statement and a topic sentence. A thesis statement, running out of room here, a thesis statement is the overall theme of the entire paper. A topic sentence is the overall theme of one paragraph. And so it's important that you understand kind of those two structural terms. We're going to be using those throughout the semester. I just thought I'd do a little review here. Most of you probably know this, but a thesis statement, entire paper, is found in the introduction. A topic sentence, a body paragraph that's usually found, at least in academic writing, at the very beginning of a body paragraph.